Hey guys and girls, and welcome back to Proceed to Checkpoint. This is King Lear here, and I am back with some Final Fantasy XIV content. So this video is going to be just a quick boss and tactics guide for the new instance Hullbreaker Isle. Now this is a pirate themed type of dungeon. It's not really part of the main story. It's kind of off to the side as just a little dungeon by itself. But in saying that, it's entirely possible to do without watching a video first. So if you want to do that and avoid any spoilers, feel free. But there shouldn't be any spoilers for the story or anything like that in this video. So I'm going to go through a couple of things, the first of which is going to be notable trash tactics, so any trash mobs that have something you need to pay attention to, and then just the first, second and third bosses I'm going to go through as well. So there's 3 bosses in this dungeon. So without further ado, let's just jump in there and see what's happening with this dungeon. So one of the mobs that you'll come across on your run up to the first boss is called a hornet, and these should generally be the first thing to die because they have a move called Final Sting. I'm not sure if you remember it from the temple, but Final Sting basically, if they get the cast off, does a ridiculous amount of damage and has been known to insta-kill even tanks. So the Hornets should be the first ones to die, just so your tank doesn't get hit by that Final Sting ability. After that, there isn't generally any particular order to do these trash in. It's not a big deal. Just make sure to get the Hornet down first, and then you can worry about everything else afterwards. So this is the first boss fight, and I'm going to show you this fight in full and just talk over the tactics as we go through it. So the first boss is Sasquatch, which is basically this giant gorilla. Not a crazy fight. Spawns ads. As soon as the ads spawn, they should be killed. That's what we're going through here. Now, he goes into a rage at this point, and in order to calm him down, you need to use the trees on the side to drop a banana for him to eat. I get interrupted here, but I don't continue because I can see that healer up there is dropping a pack. So the healer drops a set of bananas, the monkey sits down and eats them, and his rage subsides. So he stops freaking out. What the bananas do, as well as stopping the enrage on him, is they give him 1 stack of a damage increasing buff. So for every pack of bananas he eats, he gets more power in his attacks. So while you want to drop a set of the fruit to stop the enrage, you only want to drop 1, because otherwise he's going to eat a ton of them and he's going to get more and more powerful. So he'll spawn a set of ads. You need to kill those ads before dropping a banana, because if not, the ads will eat them. So kill the ads. They don't have a huge amount of health. They go down pretty easily. And then drop a banana off the tree. There we go. The enrage will stop and he'll gain 1 stack of a damage increasing buff. That is the only tactics for this particular fight. So he spawns ads, kill the ads, and then drop a banana to stop the enrage on him, but only 1 each time. If you want, it can be a good idea to just assign 1 person to be, okay, you are the guy that's going to drop bananas, and he's just going to drop them to make sure that you don't end up dropping 3 or 4. There's also a charge, not a major deal. He does it from time to time, and an AoE, which you probably saw during the fight to avoid. Not a big deal. The main thing is just kill those ads and then drop 1 fruit to stop the enrage. Simples. So the next area you enter after the first boss is going to have little rooms that have 3 treasure chests in each. Now, one or two of the chests will be real, but one or two of them will be a mimic. Now, you need to kill a mimic until it drops a stone tablet. So between the 3 chests in here, one of them will be a mimic that drops a stone tablet, and you need to go through the chests until you get the stone tablet, because that's used to open the individual doors in this section. Once you have the stone tablets, 1 for the first door and 2 for the second door, you can move on and complete the doors without opening the rest of the chests or killing any of the additional mimics. Another piece of trash to pay attention to in this next cave area between the first and second bosses is these Fs. Now these have a hatch ability, and if you let that hatch go off, it'll summon 3 mini Fs, and they are pretty tough to kill. They're not a walkover, so it's in your best interest to just interrupt that hatch and get the Fs down as quickly as possible. So this next guy is reasonably tough, this giant worm looking dude. He's again a couple of abilities, and basically he's a water based guy. So he does this up well that you need to avoid, just a channel straight in front of him. Only really necessary for the tanks to dodge it. Nobody else should be in front of him. The other thing he does is he does a big massive yellow circle in the area, and when that goes, water drops down, and you need to avoid that as well. He'll also dive underground. Now when he dives underground, there's 2 different things he can do. He can just chase you, as he just did back there, in which case you can just run away from him and safely ignore. He's not quick enough to catch up to you, and you can avoid it reasonably easy. The next thing he does when he dives underground, and this is what he's doing here, you know he's doing it because he summons 4 of the bubbles, 1 for each party, is he'll do a whirlpool, and it'll look like that. You want to jump into the bubble. The bubbles give you a shield while they last, and when they burst, you take a bit of damage. So you should generally stay out of the bubbles unless he's doing the whirlpool. Now my group weren't very good at that there, but I did the right thing, so hopefully you saw that. Wait until he does the whirlpool and then jump into the bubble. Don't go in too early because they don't last that long. As soon as the animation for the whirlpool starts, that's when you can kind of jump in. He'll do this a couple of times. He'll dive down. It seems to run in sequence, so he'll dive, he'll chase you around. You can avoid that, just keep in front of him and be away from him when he pops out. And then he will dive again, and the second time he dives, he will do the whirlpool. Now you see water splashing all over us a couple of times during this fight. That's my teammates jumping into the bubbles. So that's why you don't want to use them unless you have to, because they are an AoE and they will damage your group. So only jump in the bubbles when he's doing the whirlpool and you'll be okay. So this is the 4th time he's diving on us here, which means it's another whirlpool. So it goes chase you, whirlpool, chase you, whirlpool, or at least it did during this fight. It's pretty obvious when he goes down what he's going to do, so if it doesn't run in order like that, you should be easily able to adjust to it. Aside from that, this boss is pretty easy, so dodge the AoE, run away from him if he's chasing you underground, and jump in the bubble to avoid the whirlpools. That's literally all there is to it. So this is the final boss of Hullbreaker Isle, the Kraken. Again, I'll show you the full fight and I will explain it as we go along. So your first objective is to kill 10 of the arms or tentacles. They don't have a lot of health, but they're fairly tough. So you start here on this platform. You want to kill the first tentacle, at which point water spouts open up. You can jump across these spouts to the different islands around here. Now doing that puts a buff on you that makes you vulnerable to damage, so you take more damage. So you should only jump when you have to. Now when do you have to jump? I'll get to that as it comes up during the fight. So here we kill a tentacle, but another one has appeared right over there. Now our healer there has a green crystal on him. That green crystal, once you have that on you, you want to hop to a different island, one that your group are not on. Once that green crystal goes away, you will drop a water spout. You can kind of see it in the background over there. You drop a water spout, and that will damage everyone on the island you're standing on. So if you have a green crystal over your head, you want to get off, drop the water spout, and then get back onto the island you were on and regroup with the rest of the group. So you got to drop that spout, and you got to make sure that it's on an island where nobody else is. Once you do that, you can come back and join the group and get back with the fight. So here we are, there's nothing left on this island to kill, so we gotta hop islands again to this one. Now our DPS died on the first island, so it's just the tank and me at the moment while our healer tries to res the DPS that died. So here we go, I have a green crystal, so I hop over to this island, wait until the green crystal goes, so I drop the whirlpool, and then I hop back here. Now I believe I aimed the camera here so that you can see, yeah, you can just about see the water spout over there in front of the Kraken. That'll explode, damage the whole island. So I went over there, dropped the crystal, come back to the group. Crystal on me again. Now I gotta try and anticipate where my group is going and drop the crystal in a safe place. So again, dropped it over on this island because that's where we already were, so I know we're not going to go back there. He'll drop ink on you. I believe it slows you, might do damage over time. I haven't been hit by it, so I can't tell you for sure. Going over a water spout will wash the ink off you. But again, it puts a debuff on you, so you want to only go over the water spout when you have to. Depending on what the ink does, it might be worth just keeping it on you for a little bit. Again, not sure what it does, so that's a call you'll have to make yourself. Now our tank gets hit by the green crystal here, as do I. So the pair of us hop islands. I make sure to go to a different island than the tank, and then try and regroup with the rest of the guys. So I've no idea why we switched islands there, but I'm just going to stick with the tank here. So both of us dropped our green crystals away from the group, and then we all regrouped on an island to go back at this tentacle again. Now, is that green crystal on me? I believe it is. Yep, a little bit slow to react there, but we're moving island anyway. So I drop it on this one. Now, another thing that those tentacles do, as you just saw it do with our healer, is they will pick you up and they will throw you. So they'll pick you up and throw you to a different island. You got to use the water spouts to try and get back to the group as quickly as possible then, because they can dump you on any island. There could be anything on it. There could be some kind of AoE. You just don't know. So you got to get back to the island that the rest of the group are on. Here we go. I've been picked up, so you can see what happens here. So he flung me there, and unfortunately he flung me to the worst possible place because he threw me right where a water spout was about to explode. That literally could not have gone any worse, but I survived. All good. Now, if you're experienced with the tactics of this fight, you'll be screaming at me to use limit break right now. This was the first time I'd done the fight, so honestly I didn't know if there was anything after the tentacles or not, which is why I didn't use limit break in this fight. We could have got that done sooner if I had, but I just wasn't aware. So there you go, guys. That was Hullbreaker Isle, the tactics for the 3 bosses, and a bit of trash as well, just so you're aware of what to do. I hope this has been useful. If it has, drop a comment and hit that subscribe button, because we're going to have more coming out. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching.